Alright, so we're out here at hive number 2. This is Beetle Mania, what was. Hopefully not so much anymore, I don't know. We've knocked it down to one box, 10 frames. And we took out a frame that had some larvae in it, some beetle larvae. And I put Swiffer pads. I think there's 3 Swiffer pads in there. Today what I want to do is put 2 oil traps in there as well. And also I've been feeding them this week. They've had at least 2 or 3 of these jars, and they're going to get another one today. So I'm just going to take that off. Now this hole, the bees can get out of that hole. I'm just going to cover that up. There's no beetles on the lid there, so that's a good sign. Just knock those bees off and I'll go fill this up, and then we're going to have to take the lid off to put those oil traps in. Alright, so this is the jar that I've got to fill up. And I've got some sugar water that I've made up that's pretty much 2 to 1, 2 parts sugar to 1 part water. That's pretty well mixed up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of this in the bottom and then add some pollen substitute. It's already got some honeybee healthy in it. About a teaspoon or so, and then give that a good mix up. There's still some in there from the last lot. Just fill this right up to the brim. Perfect, and then we'll put the lid on. Now I picked these oil traps up on Amazon for like 25 bucks. There's a whole bunch of them in here. I'm going to put 2 in the first hive, in that Beetle Mania hive. Gonna have a little look to see if I see any beetles in there on the Swiffer pads. I may have to replace those, and I have some in my pocket right here. And I have some oil here. I put some oil in this for the oil traps. So let's get this done. Let's get them fed. Let's get some oil traps in there. Maybe change the Swiffer pads out if they need to be. Alright, so as you can see, they're pretty busy at the entrance. So we know there's a bunch of foragers that are out and about finding something, some resources. There's some daisies that are flowering, and I've seen them on the daisies. So let's open the hive and see what the Swiffer pad situation is like. And also we've got to try and get some bees moved so that we can get these oil traps on. 1 in each corner. I'll put one sort of like kitty corner, because I guess the bees will push them towards them, and they'll either be trapped underneath or inside the trap. So, did I bring the oil out? Yep, I got the oil. Let's get the oil in the traps first. You don't need a whole lot, and you don't want to spill this in the hive on the bees either. So we'll just put a little bit in there. So there's about 1/4 of an inch at the bottom. Put that out of the way to one side for a second. We'll do this one too. Should have done this the other week, but I just ran out of time. So anyway, they've had the Swiffers all week, so hopefully things are not as bad as they were. Try to keep on top of it. I knocked them down to 1 box. I killed off a lot of beetles. They're not being aggressive, they're very calm. Looking in the top, I see there's a beetle, a couple of beetles on the lid. I don't see any more running around. Okay, so there was about 5 or 6 on the lid. We knocked those down to gone. There's one there on the Swiffer. 2. There's another one there. Come on, bee, I'll take care of it for you. The bees are working the beetles to get rid of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the Swiffer pad there. You see they're dragging the Swiffer pads down. On here there's quite a few beetles. So you can see there's a few beetles there, quite a few beetles. Try and get the bees off. There was quite a few beetles on that Swiffer. There's another, the one on my glove there. We're going to pull this Swiffer right out of there. Oh my goodness, yep, a whole bunch of beetles there too. The beetles on this Swiffer pad. So as you can see, there's a ton of bees in here and they're very calm. They're not interested in me at all. Where did I put the bee tool, the hive tool? There's the hive tool. It's possible that we have some beetles here. What do we have? A little bit of propolis. Probably had some beetles in it. There is a lot of propolis. I think the bees are going to be okay. They're going to be able to handle what they've got right now, because every single frame has got bees on. Every single frame. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift this outside frame just to see what we've got. See if I see any concerns. With me feeding them, they'll be able to fill it. If it's empty, they'll be able to fill it with sugar water. Well, there is a few beetles. I mean, there is a ton of bees in here, so with new Swiffer pads and oil traps, I'm pretty certain that these girls will get them into those traps and take care of them. We're going to take one more frame just to have a look. Absolutely covered in bees. There's brood on this frame. This whole frame is covered in brood. That's the second frame in. I think that's all I'm going to do, because I think that, like I said, with the oil traps and the Swiffer pads, they'll be able to take care of them, I hope. Alright, so we'll put one right here. One oil trap right there. And one oil trap over here. Alright. And we're going to put some Swiffers in there as well. I'll tell you, those Swiffer pads, they work a treat. You saw how many beetles were on those Swiffer pads. Let's get them out of this corner. I'm going to put a third one in. I almost feel like putting a whole bunch more in. I might put 4 in. This hive does need help with the beetles, that's for sure. I think that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to put 4 in just like that. And then we're going to put the lid back on. Okay, and with the lid on, we're going to put their feed back on, their new feed. So it drips a little bit, not much. And then, oh, there's a wasp already trying to get in there. Killed that. See the yellow jacket there? Coming for an opportunistic feed. But I got him. So there they are at the entrance of the hive again. A whole bunch of fanning going on. They're fanning pheromones. When they've got their butts in the air like that, they're fanning pheromones, telling everybody where the queen is. But if you remember, this was one of my weak hives. I replaced the queen back June 22nd. And they're doing great. And hive number 5, which was the swarm box. Is it 4 or 5? I can't remember. Anyway, this was the old swarm. Again, they've drank all of their sugar water, the second jar this week. And I'm just going to cover these girls up, the hole up. And there's a few on the lid. I didn't see a beetle. I'm going to go fill this up. Okay, so we're just going to take a peek under the lid. Now I did put Swiffers under here as well. And what I want to do is add 1 or 2 oil traps, depending on the situation with beetles. If I see a lot of beetles, I may just put 2 in there anyway, regardless. I don't see any in here. I don't see any on the Swiffer pads either, so that's a good sign. That's a really good sign for this hive. It's just that one hive that they seem to have managed to get infiltrated into. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take these Swiffer pads out because they've been propolizing, and I'm going to put some new Swiffer pads and oil traps in. I keep saying oil pads. So yeah, they've been propolizing that, so the more they mess it up, the less effective it is to trap the beetles. There's one beetle. There was two. There's a couple on the Swiffer pad. So there was one, probably in like a trap of sorts. That's what they tend to do. The bees make little traps for them, and then I go ahead and release the damn things. There's one on this pad too. Just the one. Squish that one. Oh, there's another one there. Squish that one. That's two. So there's not that many in here, but enough to warrant having new Swiffer pads and oil traps set into place. So there's a nice spot there just for that one to slot right in. And I'm gonna have to get the bees to go down a bit maybe. And put that one there. And some new Swiffer pads. And then they're going to get some new feed as well. Give them 3 Swiffer pads. Just like that. And then put the lid back on. We'll give them a top entrance at the back, which I messed up. Sometimes I mess that up, sometimes I don't utilize it, or sometimes I put it in the wrong spot. But we're still having some warm days, but we're having cooler nights. Just looking around that lid for that queen. I don't see her. She must be inside the hive there, hopefully. But certainly lots of bees. These last 2 or 3 frames, there's not too many bees on. But down below I can see it's packed. If they're up here, there's a lot downstairs too. Get them reorientated off the edges. Come on girls, I don't want to crush you. Actually, I was going to spin that around. There it is. So they have a back entrance, a little bit of ventilation if they want it. And yep, that's leaking, so that's not leaking, but the sugar water can get out. Alright, so these are the Swiffer pads that I've removed from all of the hives. I've now replaced Swiffer pads in every single hive, and as you can see, some of them are pretty clear of beetles, but some of them are just chock-a-block full of them. So they're pests. Absolutely pests, they really are. So I took them all out and squashed all of those. They're gone, and now every hive's got some new feed. I do need to get some more sugar because these guys are low, but they have some. Yep, so that's it for this episode of Woodsley Bees. So thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you again for another go in the yard of bees. Play with my bees. Take care now. Bye.